Our loyal viewers know it's time for the Nightcap, the Sunday night recap of some of the most memorable stories from this past week on NBC10. Did you catch Sydney Long's story about the multi-state police chase, or what about Danny Freeman's coverage of TikTok's plea for people to stop doing the crate challenge? Don't worry, we've got it all. But we begin with a new development in a nearly 20-year-old unsolved case. Here's Deanna Durante.
For nearly 2 decades, these are the sketches we've seen. A man in his 20s wearing a mesh shirt, scars on his left side. The images are the way his victims saw him. Now today, police released images of how the man's DNA predicts what he could look like. The rapist struck 3 times in 2003.
The MO is always the same. He'd come up from behind, he'd put him in a headlock, he'd produce that knife. He would threaten them. He would drag them.
One of the victims, Rebecca Park, didn't survive. Her body was found in a shallow grave days after she went missing. But others lived to tell about the man, what he did, and what he said.
He would talk to these victims. Some of them he would say, "Why are you out here by yourself all alone?"
These photos released today not only show what he could look like at age 25, but 40 and even older. It's the first time the Philadelphia police is using this technology to try and find the man, and so far his DNA has led to others who could be related.
We've already gone out and swabbed some people.
Arthur DeSanto Jr. is the man investigators say who fired shots at Fallcroft and Pennsylvania State Police just before 7 last night. He ditched or crashed this motorcycle after a short pursuit and then stole an undercover police SWAT SUV, taking off for New Jersey. Inside that police vehicle, there were guns and ammunition. Authorities in Gloucester County quickly learned DeSanto abandoned that black Chevy Tahoe with its rear window shattered without taking the rifles, but some tactical gear was missing.
There's a gunman loose with SWAT gear on, and he's in the woods behind our development.
At least one bullet struck a police officer. DeSanto was wounded too.
And really, we have about 85 million people who are eligible for this vaccine right now in the country who just are not getting vaccinated. And it's affecting everybody.
Infectious disease expert and Albert Einstein Medical Center physician Dr. Darren Marina says the virus is attacking the unvaccinated, and locally, those are the patients being hospitalized. He says the FDA approval of the Pfizer vaccine should quell the fears of those so far who are holding out.
I think it'll do a lot for mandates, too.
The first Blue Cross Broad Street run during the COVID era will have a much different look and feel. The city announced this year runners must provide proof of vaccination to participate. Also, fans aren't allowed at the start or finish lines.
If they're going to have the event, this is really what's needed at this point in time.
By now, you've probably seen it, or heard it, or even felt it.
Oh, that was a tailbone.
But also by now, we probably don't need a doctor to tell you not to do it.
So why would I want to hurt myself for someone else to watch?
It's the Milk Crate Challenge, and it's exploded on the internet. The concept is simple. People stack milk crates like a pyramid and then try to cross. But the reality is usually chaos.
If you don't set it up, nobody's going to go up.
Because aside from the obvious risk to yourself, personal injury attorney Edith Pierce thinks when it comes to the liability if someone gets hurt, you could be in trouble if you stacked the crates.
And I would tell anybody, if you're thinking about setting one of these up, just don't.
And the complete versions of all of those stories are on the NBC10 app and on our website, NBC10.com. Thank you to Andre Payne, our producer. He and I work together to put the Nightcap on for you every Sunday. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what's happening with Hurricane Ida. We'll go back for another live report from New Orleans. Stick with us.